Harpy by Megan Hunter. I've read about 60 pages and so far I'm enjoying it. We meet our narrator, Lucy, who's married to a man named Jake, and they have 2 sons, Ted and Patty. And the way it starts is, it's kind of one of those things where it's like telling us the story that's about to happen. So I'm not really giving anything away by doing this. I don't mind this method of storytelling. I kind of like when you know that, like, I think it's Secret History kind of does this, where you know the thing that happens at the end, but you know it at the beginning, and then you get the entire story told to you of how we ended up where we started. Lucy is in bed with her husband, and she's holding a razor blade against the skin of like his inner thigh. And she's recalling memories of how they first met. She's talking about how she remembers his hair. And then she's also recalling how she should have noticed there were things going on with him and another woman. And then it goes into her explaining directly to you, I'm not a violent person, that she's never been a violent person. So this book does something really interesting. It is like in chapters, and she's telling us now like what is happening. Like she's going through the story of like the day she finds out about what's going on with her husband, the woman who he is seeing, her husband contacts Lucy and says, I think you should know. And he's like, I just found out. And she has spent the day being a mom with her kids. And she's talking about how she kind of likes the predictability of it, how a lot of people seem to lose themselves in motherhood. And she kind of is okay with that. And she kind of likes it and enjoys the life that she has. And she's not content per se, but she is understanding of the situation and happy to be a mom and to care for children and to be a wife. And that she is telling us the story. But then after each chapter, there are like these tiny little, they take up maybe half a page. And it's her, to me, it feels like she's directly talking to us, the reader. Like she's told us she's not a violent person. And then she's also telling us about a story that she read with her mother growing up about unicorns and harpies. That the harpies are birds with women's faces, and they came down to torture the unicorn, and that they are there to punish. And her mom is basically like, I feel bad for the unicorns. And Lucy, as a child, is empathizing more with the harpies. And I'm not fully understanding how, I mean, I have an idea of how this is going to play into the story, and it's kind of been hinted at, and it's very much in the synopsis that they make some sort of arrangement on crime. He has committed this crime and the punishment, and she will be the one to go through with these punishments. But yeah, so far so good. I'm enjoying the writing, I'm enjoying the story. I'm curious to see where it goes, because right now we're still in the very beginning stages. So I will try and update you later. everyone. It's Monday, January 9th. I feel like I haven't filmed in a few days, but I really just didn't film yesterday, and I don't know, this weekend I just kind of hunkered down and didn't really feel like doing a ton of talking. I just filmed like little things here and there, but I did want to do a quick update before I have to be somewhere in like 5 minutes. I've got a little cup of coffee that I made with me. I read a little bit of the Harpy today during lunch, and I feel like it's finally starting to kind of be what I was in the mood for. So I've gotten to, I feel like this isn't really spoiling it, but they make an agreement because the husband has cheated on his wife that she can punish him 3 times in any way that she sees fit, and he won't know what it's going to be. He won't get any sort of warning. It'll just sort of happen, and one of them has already happened, and it was pretty crazy, and I feel like they're just going to intensify as it goes. I also am really enjoying, there's a lot of like talk about water and like the movement of water or the ocean in like a body. So there's like a part where she's not feeling well after she finds out about what her husband's doing, and she's kind of like sick to her stomach, and she gets sick, and she feels like there's like this movement and this like sloshing, and there's this motion. And then once she punishes her husband the first time, she says that she wants to go to the beach because she wants to be near water. She wants to be near the ocean and the waves, and the way she's describing things like water and the ocean is just really interesting. And she's talking a lot about wind, and I did a little more research on harpies because I needed a little refresher on Greek mythology. But the harpy, the harpy is like the personification of a storm or like storm winds. And Lucy, the narrator, becomes obsessed with like the ocean and describing things as like water and having movement, but also she starts at night watching, she like has this renewed like energy to her after she punishes her husband the first time, and knowing that she's going to do it 2 more times, she has like this lightness to her, and where he is now tense and worried and kind of unsure of what she's going to do next, she has like this sense of lightness and freedom in herself. And at night she stays up kind of binge watching disaster videos. So like watching tornadoes and the way the wind sweeps things up, watching tsunamis and the way the water is carrying buildings away and destroying and carrying things away. And she's just watching and watching these videos over and over. And I'm just finding it really interesting, and I'm really enjoying it because there seems to be some depth to everything. It's not just the harpy and she's going to like seek revenge on her husband for cheating on her. There's a little bit more to it. The writing is really great. There's a lot of talk about stomachs and like parasites and wombs, and like being born from a womb, and like what you bring from your mother that's like a negative or like a parasitic type of thing. So there's lots of stomachs, birthing, water, gurgling, storms, movement, throwing up. It's not like gross, but like it's like the body and the stomach and the womb and like movement. It's really interesting. So I'm enjoying it so far. Oh, I gotta go. Bye. All right, I don't know where we left off. And I took my hair down because it got, I got warm, but also wanted a blanket, I guess. I don't know. But I don't really know where we left off. But yeah, we were talking about the harpy. I don't really know. I feel like I said everything I kind of wanted to say. That I just read a few pages at lunch, and I feel like it really kind of pushed forward a bit. And I'm really enjoying it. Some of the sentences are really quite gorgeous, and yeah, like I feel like I was thinking like, oh, this is gonna be like a revenge novel or a DWM revenge kind of thing, and it has a lot more nuance. I'm really loving the mythology. I'm loving the mythology. It's really cool. I'm hoping that continues a bit more. Also just continuing to love the way we're being told the story, but we're also she's going into this really interesting depth in like these small little sections where she's directly talking to us, the reader, and she's telling us more things about the Harpy and telling us more and more how she isn't a violent person, how she's never hurt an animal, and like she's just really, you can kind of sense her unraveling a bit. Yeah, it's really good. I don't know if it's gonna be my favorite book, but it's really good. I didn't think it was gonna be as good as it was. I'm hoping this continues. Hopefully I don't come back and tell you guys like, oh, it actually wasn't as good as I had thought it was going to be. But right now it is great. And while there's still a little bit of light, I did pick up this little bouquet yesterday that you may have seen already in the little film, but I arranged them in this cute little vase. But yeah, we got these little guys. We gotta do our weekly flower check. Cute, cute. I normally don't like lime green, but I did really like these, and yeah, it's cute. And then I've got the carnations still going strong over here. They've really puffed up and they're super cute. I really like them. All right, I'll probably talk to you tomorrow. I'm hoping now I can breeze through this book. I feel like I kind of lost a little momentum the last couple days, but I feel like the rest of this week, I think it's gonna be better, and I'm gonna be able to get some reading done and give you all more regular updates. And yeah, all right, I'll talk to you later. Bye. I didn't film a lot yesterday. I feel like I did a lot of reading after work yesterday, and I mainly wanted to focus on just reading, and I just filmed like little just stuff that I was doing while I was at home. I just didn't feel like really filming a lot, and I also wanted to make this vlog a bit shorter. I had thought I would try and put 2 books into one vlog, but I think I'm just going to do, sorry about the light. This is the room with the best lighting when I get home from work, so I thought I'd come in here and sit on the floor, and the blinds are maybe not working as well. That might, I kind of, let's see. Maybe that's a bit better. Okay, so we're letting in some light, but we're not being blinded. But I originally thought I would do like a 2-book vlog like I did the last one, but I kind of want this one to be its own vlog, and then for the last 2 books in my Backlog January, or that were part of the Backlog January, I think I'm gonna do their own video, because one is an essays collection and one is a short story collection. So I feel like that might be kind of a fun like mix to do. I finished the Harpy today during my lunch break, and I really enjoyed this book. It was exactly what I was in the mood for. The writing is lovely. Like, if anything, if you read it for the writing, I think you will get so much enjoyment out of it. I loved the themes. I really enjoy Greek mythology. I love that this wasn't just like a typical, a woman's been cheated on kind of revenge novel, or a typical, I don't remember what I wrote down, but like a typical scorned DWM. It is kind of a DWM, but in a different way. So I think where I left off kind of talking about it was, there's a lot of talk about like the body and like hunger and needing to like fill a stomach, or like empty a stomach so new can come in. There's like this sense of metamorphosis, of renewal, of going through like a change. And you do see that in our main character, our narrator, Lucy. She is going through a metamorphosis. She is transforming into a harpy. Like, she is, like, whether or not you want to read it as she's actually transforming into a harpy, or it's all symbolically turning into a harpy. But as she starts inflicting the punishments, the 3 punishments that she's allowed to inflict however she chooses upon her husband, she just starts changing more and more. She's not only changing from the mother that she originally started as, where she was content to be a mom. She was happy to do the role of being a mom and a wife, and felt that it's something she should do. It's a sacrifice she needed to make, to give a part of herself for the overall well-being of her household. And as she starts feeling scorned and not wanting to be the typical scorned woman, she starts changing, and she realizes more and more that through her scorn, she's now seeing things the way they are, and that she did everything right. And look what has happened. And she's now like changing and transforming and turning into this other thing. And she kind of is maybe liking it in a way. I also talked about in some of the smaller sections of the book where she's like directly talking to us, those are very much focused on her obsession with the Harpy, which starts from childhood. And we find out that she also focused on the Harpy in college and on her PhD, and has always just continued to have an obsession. And there is some trauma in her childhood with her mother and father that really makes you realize why the Harpy is such a key figure, a mythological figure for her, and like how she processes the trauma in her childhood and how she is processing this pain that's been inflicted upon her. There's so much talk about a churning of an ocean and water. I think I'm going to go more into that in my end of the month recap, but there's just some really stunning sentences. And she's talking about not only like, let's see, I wrote some notes down because I just like wanted to process it, but talk of digestion, her constant hunger and need to be filled. She's drawn to the ocean, a river, any sort of water. She just seems to be like drawn to it as she's continuing this metamorphosis. It went in a direction that I thought was really interesting. I don't know if the pacing is always perfect in this, but I did enjoy it. I had a little bit of a hard time in the beginning because I felt like maybe it was going to be a bit too much of a traditional revenge sort of novel. I already figured, oh, this is going to be a typical marriage story. And I had to get past those first few, maybe 60 or so pages of kind of feeling that way. And then it really I felt like I just really wanted to get through it and read it. And I was really enjoying it. The more mythological and monstrous that she was kind of becoming. I don't know if monster's the right way, but more like the change within her. She became such an interesting character, and the writing was just beautiful. And I feel like there was one other thing. Oh, and I was wondering if I should just save this for the end of the year, end of the month wrap up. But I think if you liked White on White by Ayşegül, I highly recommend The Harpy. Also, which I know this is very polarizing, but A Certain Hunger by Chelsea G. Summers, which I loved that book when I read it. It's not gory or like grotesque in the sense that A Certain Hunger is, but the sentences and the female narrators are very different, but they're very similar at their root. But yeah, I think White on White would be like a great companion to read for this. It's like this slow unraveling, this slow unease. Like you constantly feel like there's something about to happen, to explode, and it just hits a peak, and everything just like, it's just a wave. Like it's great. I'm really happy. Yeah, this was a great book. I do really recommend it. So for my next reading vlog, I think I didn't bring the Leonora Carrington, but it's the I forgot the name of it, but it's the short story collection. And then we're gonna do I'm going to read Too Much and Not the Mood by Durga Chew-Bose. This is an essay collection. I'm really excited. I haven't read an essay collection in quite a while, and I think doing this in tandem with the short story collection will be really enjoyable. I think I'm going to end this vlog here. Remember to read what you like, don't judge others, take care of yourself, and remember to always be kind. Thanks for being here.